Hello guys, it is Hartwigga here, and today we are back for episode 5 of the F1 show. I'm only joined by George today. Obviously, we're just trying to work out some times that we can all be together as one. It's very difficult being in the UK and Australia. But yeah, we'll try to sort that out for next episode and the coming ones for you guys. Today we're going to do a quick overview about what we think the 2021 grid could be, and then some talking points and previews coming into the Sochi Grand Prix. It will be a short one. We are under some heavy time constraints, so yeah, this will be fairly short, guys. But let's get into it.
Yeah.
So let's see, George. The teams that are already signed are Ferrari, McLaren, Renault, Racing Point / Aston Martin. I think that's it.
So, for the first team, which we have to move on to, who haven't got their driver lineup confirmed, is actually Mercedes.
Yeah.
Now I'm just gonna predict that they're gonna keep the same lineup.
Yeah.
They've signed Bottas for 2021, and there's no point in changing Hamilton for someone else because he's doing so well as Hamilton. And I think Mercedes want to back him to be the most successful driver in Formula One. So he can do that with Mercedes, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that. Like you said, there's no reason to get rid of him. I don't think he'll leave. I think maybe next year, if he goes on and wins it next year, I mean, it's a different story. But this year, I think he'll certainly continue on. So I'd say Lewis Hamilton as well. What's next? I think Red Bull next. I think.
Red Bull. So I think they will keep Albon and Max Verstappen because Albon has shown good development with that podium finish. He's had a lot of confidence given. Obviously, qualifying still an area where, on the whole, it would help him a lot to improve. But his racecraft is really good, and I think what he did better than Pierre Gasly in the Red Bull car was that while the qualifying may be similar to that of Gasly, but the racecraft was just seemed to be getting higher positions each race, and then Gasly in the Red Bull just started where he finished most of the time. But so that's what I think.
That's actually exactly what Christian Horner said earlier this week in an interview about the two. And look, Max obviously signed. I mean, there's exit clauses in, but I don't think he'll take him just yet. The second seat. We did try this podcast once before, and we already discussed this, but I think Albon. I think Red Bull will be loyal, and they'll pick Albon, but that's only for one sole reason, which we'll get into a bit later. But yeah, I think Albon, he's probably shown his worth. I think he's proven it enough. I'll say who I was going to say potentially a bit later on. But who's next? So I think actually next might be AlphaTauri.
AlphaTauri, yeah. This one is complicated.
Yeah,
we've got loads of fantastic junior drivers.
Yeah.
Of course, Pierre Gasly, I think he's going to stay.
Yeah.
Danny Kvyat looks to be... He doesn't seem to be matching his teammate all that well. Although he did have a very good showing at Mugello. He's had a lot of experience.
He's been very up and down, but I mean, he puts in some pretty solid performances of late, so anything could happen. I'll go first. I reckon, Gasly will stay on. But in the second seat, I do think this man, I was about to put in Red Bull. But I thought, since Red Bull say they might have 4 2021 Red Bull cars effectively, I think to keep loyal to Albon and to give this man a seat, one surely deserving of a Red Bull seat anyway, is Sergio Perez. I just can see him there. I can see him being consistent in Red Bull, but I think he might go to AlphaTauri. Just because the Red Bull want to keep loyal to Albon. But I mean, either options, those are really good for him. So that's what I think for 2021.
I can sort of see this year being the last year in this inside the Red Bull Academy for Pierre Gasly, because I just feel like, what's the point of an academy and a junior and senior team, especially if AlphaTauri is now the sister team of Red Bull. So it's almost like you can kind of still regard it as a junior team because obviously it's not going to be as quick as a Red Bull, but be a place to develop the new Formula One drivers. I feel like Gasly is just is just amazing for that team, and
Yeah.
he just fits really well into that environment. So I feel like they're going to keep Gasly for another year, and I'm going to say that Yuki Tsunoda is going to replace Danny Kvyat.
Yeah, I mean, I love Daniel Kvyat, really. I think is deserving of a drive in Formula 1, but I think Red Bull want to, I don't think they really have a good relationship with him since the Kvyat Red Bull saga. So, yeah, I mean, I could see Tsunoda in there. I know you have a real liking to Tsunoda, but yeah, I think Sergio Perez is too much of an opportunity to waste. But next is a team another team Fedros could go to is Alfa Romeo. They have Kimi Raikkonen, who I think firstly will retire after this year. He made some questionable posts on his Instagram, which I found quite odd. But I think the signs kind of point towards a Kimi Raikkonen retirement. It'll be sad, but I mean it'll be probably good to get some of that youth up, especially that Ferrari Academy youth that they have. They have opportunities like Schwartzman, Schumacher, Eilert, anyone really. But I think to partner alongside Antonio Giovinazzi still, I think he's deserving of a drive. But I think alongside him, we will see Mick Schumacher. I just think he's probably the most ready out of all of them and the best candidate for that Alfa Romeo seat.
Yeah, I agree. It will be sad for Kimi to retire, but then I think I can see Mick Schumacher because he's so consistent. He's had 2 years in Formula 2. He's got the experience. He's clearly good enough, and he's leading the championship. And I think, Mick Schumacher's ready. And I just think maybe this time he'll have to replace Giovinazzi. But I feel like Giovinazzi still deserves another year. But I think maybe Schumacher deserves the season more than he does. Yeah, moving on.
I mean, next team. What's the next team? Haas. Haas to the next team.
Haas.
To have a seat. I mean, I could see both their drivers staying on. I mean, I do really like Romeo Grosjean. I think people give him a lot of stick. I mean, yes, he is accident prone, but this season he's been the more consistent out of the two and getting the most out of the car. So, for that reason, I think it is loyalty to the team. He's been there since the start, and he has such good feedback and knowledge with the team and the car. I think he'll stay on for next season. But unfortunately, I'll see Kevin Anderson out. Unfortunately, he is deserving of a drive yet as well. Same like Kvyat, but I think he might go out. And who I think is... I have two people. I originally thought Eilert might be in that seat, but now, looking back on it, I think Nico Hülkenberg could win that seat. Along with Grosjean. A very experienced lineup that could really help. That's 3-4 years, and that project can be building up for maybe 2024, potentially around there. So, yeah, I think that's the Haas lineup.
Yeah, the reason why I really do think that is a good prediction is that I think when they're having a rebuilding process, I think investing in these young talents probably isn't the best thing. When they're just learning the ropes of Formula 1 and they're having to rebuild a team as well, restructure it, I just don't think it's going to be that good for the young drivers.
Maybe a third, fourth year F1 driver in F1, you can probably build a team around them. But I don't think there's not many of those that are really out of contract. I think the only ones available are actually not many come to mind actually when you think about it. So I think they need to get some experienced heads.
I'm thinking, I'm going to say Callum Eilert will race in Haas alongside Nico Hülkenberg because there's experience in Nico Hülkenberg, but I think Callum Eilert's ready.
I just think that keeping Romeo Grosjean means you keep a driver that knows the team well, knows the team and the car really well, so you just don't have that kind of brand new fresh stuff. I mean, especially coming into regulations very soon.
That's why I support the line of K-Mag and Grosjean, because Grosjean's just very consistent. K-Mag will get the points when he will capitalise. K-Mag will be there when there is an opportunity, and I think Grosjean is really good at being consistent and trying to build that car again. So, to be honest, I can either see the lineup being Hülkenberg or Eilert.
I think it's like 4 or 5 of them that could potentially get the seat. Really,
exactly.
It's up in the air. And Gunther Steiner said that as well. It just depends. But the last team on the that really we could see change is Williams. I don't see them changing for this year, really. But I mean, unless I could actually see maybe changing in 2022 though. For 2022, I reckon they could change. For next year, I think Russell might go to Mercedes. He might stay there, but if they really want to take that next step in 2022, drivers like we've just mentioned, like Magnussen and Kvyat, are on the market. And imagine if Hamilton retires, Russell goes to Mercedes, they can get Kvyat and Magnussen in that Williams team, like two really quick drivers, and two that are willing to take risks to get the points up. And that's what Williams need ultimately. They need people that will get them the points now.
Yeah, so I think I really want to see Russell partner with Lewis Hamilton for at least one season. I want to see how George Russell does against Hamilton.
Yeah.
But so about the Williams lineup, I think next year,
I think next year will be the time when it changes. I think this year will stay the same. I don't see a reason to change it for this year.
No, I know. Nicholas Latifi's good.
Yeah.
George Russell's good as well.
But
Nicholas Latifi is developing.
I just don't think that Latifi, unless he really does something next year or later this year, I should say, I just don't see him being as good as a Kvyat or a Magnussen that have the experience and have some really good pace.
Yeah.
But I think that rounds out our kind of predictions for the 2021 grid. We'll see how many we can get right. Hopefully, we get a couple right.
Yeah.
But now on to the Sochi or Russian Grand Prix preview. Obviously, it's the 7th race here at Sochi, coming in the calendar on 2014. It's a Mercedes stronghold. Last year, it looked like Ferrari could do them, but Vettel wants to bring back the V12s. We famously found out, and a really lucky strategy for Mercedes kind of got him out of a bit of trouble there. But I expect Mercedes to be stronger again this weekend, don't you, George?
Yeah, I just expect Mercedes to be really strong as usual.
Yeah.
I think Sochi's a good track for Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah,
he's had a good record here.
He does.
I wouldn't say he's unbeatable here compared to Hamilton, but I think if Bottas is going to beat him somewhere, be honest, it's got to be.
It's like Austria, Russia's the tracks that come to mind.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
A car that could also go well here is the Racing Point. Obviously, the last year's Mercedes, basically. They're making their own modifications, which is really positive steps for next year and the coming years, especially with, Vettel signing Aston Martin, stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, it's really good signs for them, and I think they could be a strong weekend for them.
Yeah, I think it would be a strong weekend for them as well, yeah. I think Lance Stroll is getting very good with that Racing Point car. At the start of the year, he wasn't so good, but I think this year he's really stepped it up.
Yeah.
And I'll be looking forward to seeing how he can do, and Perez as well, in the Racing Point around Sochi.
So, what do you reckon for pole position? Who do you reckon for pole?
So I'm just going to say for pole, I'm just going to say I'm going to put my money on Valtteri Bottas.
Same.
And for the race win as well, Valtteri Bottas.
Yeah,
unless
I totally
James
agree.
makes an appearance again.
Totally agree. I think Bottas will get the pole. I think he'll convert to the win. Then Lewis in second, Max in the third. I think he might just get the third. I think he'll be pretty close. I do think.
Yeah.
Sergio Perez will get Sergio or Lance. I think Lance might have the upgrades this weekend because obviously Lance crashed out. He had a tyre failure, so I think Lance does have the upgrades because they one set apart again. So if Lance has the upgrades, I think he'll get P4, but if Sergio does, I reckon he'll get P4. So whoever has the upgrades, I reckon will get P4, and then P5, L1, keeping up that fairly consistent streak now. Alright, guys.
Okay, so, right.
We'll see you guys.
Unfortunately, that is the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
It was quite a short podcast, but we'll see you next week.
We will see you guys very soon in the next one, guys. See you guys.